Today, welcome to Sound to Work. Okay, this is the third video in this little series, and I suppose I want to do the chat here now about the fore-end of the rifle. And the relevant details we'll get at the front here. All involving accuracy, some things more important than others. We've been through the back of the rifle, been through the middle of the rifle. Now I want to go through the fore-end of the rifle. I suppose your front end of your chassis will be the bit I'd talk about right now. A chassis stock, wherever it is, it is relevant, both in the how it deals with actioning it, bolting it, getting it to target, canting it to the right place, all that sort of stuff. Something that is strong. No flexibility is a pretty big issue. If yours flexes a little bit, it's something I'll go through videos in later dates about how to sort of remedy that sort of stuff, but it's a pretty big issue. You also want it to be so it doesn't, when you're pushing backwards and forwards or you're using it, it doesn't have any bow in it. You want it strong enough in all senses. Doesn't mean it needs to be heavy, but it does need to be rigid to a certain point. This is so you can transfer your, whether it's even in the likes of a bench rest rifle where you have it on a big flat pad sitting on your forward rest, or you are with a bipod situation like I'm using, then you want that to have a moderate amount of strength in the front of it. Extra weight, that sort of stuff, listen, not required in most cases. It depends on how they're set up, and obviously PRS and that type of thing. It can be a place where they put a lot of weight in the rifle, and that is the simple logic of heavier is easier to shoot, and easier doesn't necessarily make it more accurate. Just easier to be more accurate would be the way to put it. But it's not a case of more is better. You know, it might seem that way, but you find that then it starts to cause other issues. So really, some rigidity is what's important in that point there. Your front, whether it's a front rest and you're sitting on that, so the front of a, like I said, of a bench rest rifle is a big flat thing on the back there, so running that sort of stuff. Whether it's a bipod system where you're running underneath like most people, or you have your extensions with the longer bipods out the front here. Listen, they all have their details, bits and pieces. My system, which does not touch the barrel, as people would like to say, is designed. There's some fundamentals that everyone is trying to do. You want it to interrupt that rifle. When it actually actions straight forward and back, it goes as straight back as possible. Same as down the back here, where you're trying to make it that straight line of push. You don't want the bipod to mess that up. And that's the main thing a bipod can do wrong, or a front rest can do wrong. If it does nothing other than just guide the rifle back, then it's doing its job. That's the main thing. It can, with bouncing, with moving, once you go to the likes of an Atlas system, which this is based on, you go to that and you have this up and down sensation as you go forward and back. How to do that? This up and down sensation when you are shooting. If you're completely consistent with how much you let the rifle move every time, it'll work fine. It'll move the point of impact a little bit, but you've already adjusted for that, so you'll be fine. But the moment it is inconsistent, you'll get vertical stringing because it hasn't got the straight forward and back thing going on. It'll move very well sitting on the thing. That straight forward and thing back. In all forms, that's what's really, really super relevant. So I'll get more into bipods later on. There is a reason for my design, that sort of stuff, but there's lots of ways of doing this, but the fundamentals, those physics matter a lot. The barrel, obviously, very important detail. An amazing piece of technology, which is so old school. It was happened a long, long time ago. To me, it's still incredible how accurate it can be. But of course, that's as long as nothing disturbs it. And it even, the likes of the rifling, the right amount of twist for your bullet weight, all that sort of stuff. There's all sorts of things that are relevant there that you need to make sure you get in the ballpark of. But largely, once you got it right, the rifling, even pretty crude looking rifling, still ends up working okay, because in actual fact, the bit of accuracy that happens is right at the end here. Coming up here, efficiencies matter, how much it's worn matters, how it engages, all that matters, but the accuracy bit is all messed with in this last little bit here, the last point of contact, that's what matters. So yes, there's lots of details, I'll get into them, but it's not overthink it thing. It's super relevant, but it's super old tech and works really consistently. It's more what we can do outside, what the physics of the rifle can do and the physics of the human do that can make inaccuracy than a barrel. And I won't get into it more than that. What does matter very much in that is in that last little bit there, right? The tip there is the crown. So the crown, which is right where the barrel, where the rifling finishes and the tip of the end of the barrel starts, right there. Even microscopic damage to that piece there can disturb things. Once again, done videos about it, we'll do more, but that's a super important point to protect on your rifle and to keep an eye on your rifle. If you lost accuracy, it is a place to really look. That really matters. So beyond that point, the muzzle brake we've got on the front here, muzzle brakes, a lot of folks still think of them as, oh, why have you got a muzzle brake on a whatever it is, that's too small a rifle, it's all just about recoil retardation, and I want a big one because I've got a big rifle. That's what it's about. And the more efficient the muzzle brake is, so the more recoil retardation it does, is better. And I'm here to say, no, that's not the case. The more comfortable it is to shoot with, that can be better, absolutely, because that's what you're really trying to do, make it more comfortable. But also understand that a muzzle brake can mess things up as much as it can fix things. There are muzzle brakes that deliberately stop muzzle rise, so they're forcing things down. That's creating an inconsistency. In some cases, some of the more complicated muzzle brakes that are trying to do too much end up causing some inconsistency. Doesn't mean they're not going to shoot really well for you. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. But understanding the physics of it is something will help you understand it. And in some cases, they might be your problem. Hey, it feels good, but it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that. Lots of videos I already have on muzzle brakes. Obviously I designed my own side of things, but with that same feature, I figured out a lot about them, and there's a lot to explain there. So it's a relevant point. So anyway, that's the I suppose, tip to tail. There's no way I was going to turn that into a under 10-minute video, so that's why I have these 3 videos to do that. I now will start to go through in more detail about some of these products. Well, I think that's what I'll do. There's a form video to come also, but I think we'll start to go through in detail about these things, go back through the archives of things and make sense of it all. It really does matter, and you'll find that the reason a rifle is not just accurate for a little bit, but for the completely consistent, and it relaxes you feel better out of it, how shooting it works well, is not because of expensive components or good looking things. It's because understanding the physics of it, so the physical components, how they actually work together, what's going on, is where accuracy really comes from. And it'll start to make more sense, and maybe it is, yeah, this is, your rifle works because of this, or there's the bit that's wrong with my rifle and I can figure it all out. Anyway guys, put all your comments and things below. I hope that's helpful. Let us know your thoughts on it, and thanks for checking in. We'll catch you next time.